Hi everybody, time for another treasure book, and this one is such a treasure that I wore out the front cover and it's gone, God knows where. The Cooking of Southwest France by PAULA WOLFERT. This indeed was a transformational book. I bought this book in 1983 and it's a first edition. PAULA WOLFERT was a force of nature and is. She taught so many of us. If you were to interview a number of the chefs of my generation, people who were cooking for the first time, let's say in the 70s, and really getting into it, many would choose PAULA WOLFERT as one of the greatest teachers of all. She was a dogged detective of the cuisines of wherever she went. This one is on the southwest of France, but probably her best known book is on Morocco. But this book came along in our lives when I absolutely needed it. It was a time when I was so immersed in what it meant to cook in the French style. And she was quite specific by choosing the southwest of France. But she was also enormously poetic. I mean, how many cookbook authors include Henry Miller as one of the ways that she would introduce a book? By the way, I think I probably met her work for the first time through my dear friend and the amazing book agent, Lisa Eckes. Lisa Eckes, the greatest book agent and teacher I think ever produced in America. Sally, her daughter, carries on the work. Henry Miller, I can't just pass over Henry Miller without saying something here. He says, "It is not French, not Austrian, not European even. It is the country of enchantment which the poets have staked out and which they alone may lay claim to. It is the nearest thing to paradise, this side of Greece. Let us call it the Frenchman's paradise by way of making a concession. Actually, it must have been a paradise for many thousands of years. I believe it must have been so for the Cro-Magnon man, despite the fossilized evidences of the great caves which point to a condition of life rather bewildering and terrifying." Yes, it goes on. Where's the next one? Oh, here we get to chapter 2, the basic preparations, stocks, sauce bases, and breads. Here's a great intro. She says, "Someone once said that England has 3 sauces and 60 religions, while France has 3 religions and 60 sauces. In fact, there are far more sauces than that in the famous catalog of Austin de Crozes." What else do we find in here? These books are time machines for me. I put things in here and forget about them. They're put in here sporadically. For some reason, I'll get some sort of totemic reminder of something and look at the bookshelf behind me and throw it in there. This is a bookmark from Endicott Booksellers on Columbus Avenue in New York. Did I buy the book there? I doubt it, because I wasn't traveling to New York very much in this early part of my life. What else do we have? What else will I find? Oh, the 40 Years of Chez Panisse. This is the kind of thing that I would put in a book like this, because Alice was so enchanted with the work of PAULA WOLFERT. So that's why this goes in here. When I was thinking about doing this treasure book discussion, I was remembering when the Miami-Dade Library asked me if I would share some of my favorite, most monumental books for a collection that they would house downtown at the library. And so I chose that book, and it was hard to let it out of the house, but I did, because these librarians were just fantastic people. And I was thinking about when the book was in our midst and in the kitchen, which was in 1985 that I really remember, 1984 that I really remember cooking a lot out of this book, trying to figure out how to make some of those dishes. And I wrote about that in this one, my memoir. I'm talking about Charlie Trotter here. and our love of books. I wrote, but perhaps more than any other cookbook at that time, it was Paula Wolfert's The Cooking of Southwest France that caused us the most study. In the works of Freddy Giraudet and Alain Sanderans, there was little background or philosophy. You read the recipes and gazed at a few pictures. Back then, neither photographs nor drawings were deemed important. In fact, few cookbooks had either. Miss Wolfert's books were not illustrated, but she was a writer and an incredibly good one. She could make you taste the food and understand the culinary goals of the region. The book was dense with information, and we pored over it like Talmudic scholars. We deepened our understanding of Escoffier and learned of the lamentably unknown and wrongfully overlooked chef and teacher André Guyot. In a short 18-line paragraph, his method of making sauces, which he called stratification, and everybody who's ever worked at our restaurants has that word in their head, forever changed our views on this ancient art, the ancient art of sauce making. Thank you so much, Paula, for your extraordinary contributions to gastronomy in many different forms. I am also very grateful for having gotten to meet you and know you and travel a little bit with you and cook with you. And I look forward to doing it again one day if we can. All right, everybody, I'm going to sign off now. Please go get your copies of Paula Wolfert's book, whether it's this one or another one. She's probably got 20 of them. I'm Norman Van Aken, and I'll bid you adieu.